Hey there, Space Pirate Patriots. Welcome to this SpaceX Falcon 9 mission. Hoo-yah. Let's go ahead and muster up. Where are you from? What you munching on? I'm Kevin from Ohio. Welcome to the show. Man, Florida looks beautiful. Let us know in the chat if you're from Florida. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me get situated here. Got the doggos in the office. Ooh, we got all three of them for once. Look at that. Hey, what you doing? Okay, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for playing. Kunu. He's antisocial. They just had their den, so here comes Pepe's. What's up, Pepe? Hi, buddy. Okay, you're drooling on me now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Florida looks awesome. This should be quite a show. Maybe we'll get a light show again because it's a sunset launch. You can see a little bit of sun rays on the horizon there. So once the rocket gets above the clouds, I mean, if it's not too overcast, maybe we'll see something. I don't know. I'm not in Florida, so I don't know how it's looking. Locals, I do have the locals chat open. What's going on, Meg2 Sith? Wilmington, North Carolina, drinking water. I'm right there with you, buddy. Hoping to see rocket fly by. Yeah. These are two broadband internet satellites, so that's exciting. They're going to a medium, not a low Earth orbit, a medium Earth orbit. I believe equatorial or near equatorial orbit, so we'll be heading out east. I know there was questiones about that. Correct me if I'm mistaken. I haven't had much time to prepare for this. It's been a busy day. I'm excited my weekend starts right after this live stream is over. Let's go ahead and go big screen while I check in on the chat. Mike Clark, what's going on, Master Chief? From the UK, we got the UK in the chat. I'm gonna go back to small screen now.
You sound like you're from London.
because that's how my OBS is set up. Andrew Brown, what's going on, Admiral? Ovaltine in a huge mug. And is that chalky biscuits? You guys and your biscuits. Lebanon, Ohio, what's going on, neighbor? I need to get more sound bites in my OBS. My brother and I, when I was over at his house the other day, because he lives in the neighborhood adjacent to me, we were like going through a bunch of like sound bites of different states and movies. Ohio was one of them. You'd think I would have that one. Robert Berry. Come on, guys. Where are you from? Too slow today. I'm too slow today. Reefer, Maine. Michigan. There we go. Southwest Michigan. Not eating anything in Michigan today, apparently. Houston, Texas.
I pulled him out of a place on Midgard called Texas.
Missouri, salute. South Texas. Eating M&Ms with cat on my lap in Wisconsin. The state of cheddar. You and the biscuit guys should get together and get yourself some Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits. We have anybody from Boston in the chat? Do I have Starlink? I have my Starlink reservation, but I've had that since February. I still do not have the actual hardware, so no. Rocket Medic, what's going on, Captain? From Texas again, we got a lot of Texans in the chat. Arkansas's plural, there we go. Los Angeles, California. I'm sorry. I'm surprised I don't have a California soundbite. I need to get me one of them. Australia, we got Australia in the chat. I do have a soundbite for Austria.
Austria. Well then.
Good day, mate. Canada, I also got you, Canada. I haven't used this one in a while.
Welcome to French Canada.
All right, let's go back to big screen before I forget what I'm supposed to be doing here. That reminds me, I'm watching the first several seasons of South Park right now because I haven't seen them. You know, I only started watching South Park like 10 years ago when the lawyer wife and I started dating because she turned me on to it. And I'd never seen the first few seasons, so I'm working my way through those, and that just reminded me I need to watch a couple of them sods tonight. Freaking hilarious, dude. What's going on, Keith Mabe in the locals chat? Drinking margaritas and getting myself on the FBI watch list. Yeah. You guys follow me on Twitter if you want a good time. Elon's been dropping some goodies lately, and I've been raging about those. Freaking FBI. We're all on lists. Coming up on the T-minus 45 seconds till this boomstick launches. This is the 8th mission for this first stage booster. That's why she looks a little sooty. Man, this is our second live stream tonight. I don't really want to repeat myself from everything I said this morning. So we're just going to sit back, watch, and enjoy the show from Slick 40, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida. Everything's looking very orange highlights tonight. You know, you got the lights on the ground, and you got the skylights. Okay, enough of that.
15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of SES mPOWER. Go Falcon 9, go SES.
Go SpaceX.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure pump.
Lick them clouds, rocket. We might actually get to see some beautiful lights tonight. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon.
Nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, carrying the O3B mPOWER satellites to orbit. Here's a great view from the first stage, looking down at those Merlin 1D engines. Now, during the ascent, we've begun tilting the engines. That's called gimbaling. And we've begun actually moving horizontally away from the launch pad in a maneuver called a gravity turn. We're still mostly going up. As you can see, the altitude is increasing. But we're also starting to go horizontally away from the pad. And ultimately, it's that horizontal speed that will get us to orbit. I apologize, I just talked over the call out there from Max Q. That is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure and the highest stresses on the vehicle during the ascent. Now, the rocket needs to go about 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid getting pulled back to Earth. So we'll be continuing to accelerate the vehicle in preparation for several events we've got coming up in about a minute. The first of those will be main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, and then second engine start number 1. Now, main engine cutoff is where we shut down all 9 of these Merlin 1D engines in preparation for separation of the 2 stages, and then followed shortly after by second engine start number 1. We heard a call out there for MVAC chill in. That means we've begun to chill in the turbo pumps on the second stage in preparation for full flow of the Merlin vacuum engine and ignition at about the T+244 mark. So again, coming up,
stupid clouds. It's ruining our show.
And then SES-1.
Left-hand side there is the camera looking up the skirt, up the engine bell of that Merlin vacuum engine you see on the right-hand side confirmed.
There. MVAC ignition.
Great views. Left-hand side of your screen is looking up through the interstage where the Merlin vacuum is sitting. You can see that's now a first stage view of the grid fins deploying. Right-hand side of your screen is that Merlin vacuum engine having started its burn. It'll continue burning for about the next 5 minutes. Next major milestone will be deployment of the fairing halves. Now that we're high enough in the atmosphere, we can actually jettison that mass and recover the fairing halves for use on a future mission.
I'm gonna say something because I just had this premonition in my head I haven't had in a while. I don't appreciate enough. I don't think a lot of people appreciate enough just how many things have to go right for one of these missions to be successful. And I mean both deployment of the payload and the return of the first stage booster. Like when these grid fins were deploying, these titanium grid fins, which are about the size of a smart car, I was just thinking, even if just, those actuators froze up, which they have done before, or locked up, you're not going to get that booster back, And that's just one small moving part of this rocket that has to go right. And even more so with, rockets like the Saturn V or Starship. So, yeah, I think we should all just be more appreciative of just the engineering majesty of these SpaceX engineers, brah. Back to you, host man. I call him Mr. Skunk because I don't know his real name, but he has that sweet skunk hairdo.
On the second stage, about a little more than a minute into its first burn, and it is carrying the mPOWER O3B mPOWER satellites to orbit. We're carrying 2 today on today's mission for our customer SES.
Keep an eye out for them poofers on the left-hand side of your screen there, the cold gas thrusters of the ACS system. Looks like it's just leaking. Oh, there we go. Flashed us.
Next major event is going to happen on the first stage, which is on the left-hand side of your screen. That'll be the entry burn. During the entry burn, we relight 3 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. The center engine, followed shortly after by 2 of the radial engines. And we do that to slow down the vehicle. And that helps us reduce the re-entry forces and heating, and ultimately allows us to recover and reuse that first stage. So right now, the first stage is periodically doing some bursts of its attitude control gas. We're trying to get the engines pointed back towards the Earth so we can slow ourselves down once we get to the entry burn time. That in about a minute from now. Now this view is of our Merlin vacuum engine. We've got cameras on either side of the engine. You can see the glow of the nozzle from those hot exhaust gases transferring heat into the engine, and that heat is radiating away to the cool background of space.
Man, you can see the sun just reflecting off that horizon, hitting these freaking grid fins. It would have been such an awesome show if it wasn't overcast. Gersh darn it. SpaceX gods were not smiling upon us tonight.
We're going extremely fast, about 8,000 kilometers per hour on the first stage. That'll slow down as we do the entry burn, but the rocket's plume, which is carbon-based, ends up coming back onto the surface of the rocket and leaves that nice layer of soot that you see on our flight-proven boosters. Entry burn scheduled to start here in about 10 seconds. Keep an eye out for that on the left-hand side of your screen.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Maybe we'll get to see some sparkles.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Successful entry burn startup. This burn lasting just about a little over 20 seconds. You can see that our speed is rapidly decreasing.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And shutdown of those 3 Merlin 1D engines. Again, we do this burn to help with reusability. And really, reusability is the key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, and that enables more investments in critical scientific research and missions like today's payload. Falcon 9, the Falcon 9 first stage that supported today's mission will be performing its landing burn for the 8th time. It's previously supported a number of missions, including the cargo resupply missions 22 and 25, crewed missions 3 and 4, TwerkSat 5B, Eutelsat Hopper 13, and a Starlink mission, and of course today's mPOWER mission. Next major event is actually shutdown of the Merlin vacuum engine
Stage 2
that we
FTS
see
is safe.
on our screen.
I think this is a Shortfall of Gravitas drone ship that's catching it tonight.
Now, the Merlin engines are optimized for thrust in...
MVAC shutdown.
They're optimized for thrust in the vacuum of space. They actually have an extremely long nozzle compared to the Merlin 1Ds. We had our call out there for shutdown on the
Nominal orbit insertion.
on the Merlin vacuum engine, as well as a call out of nominal orbit insertion. Now, it sounds like we're having a little bit of telemetry issues with the first stage.
No.
Should have started
Don't
its
do this
landing
to
burn
us.
at about the T plus 8 minute 24 second mark.
Expected loss of signal, Cape.
Man, we're not going to get to see this
So the landing
landing.
burn sequence, we start a single Merlin engine on the first stage. And by now, hopefully we would have landed on our drone ship. We'll see if we can get some more information from the launch team once we get telemetry back.
Ah, horse shit. Name that movie. God.
So at this point, the mission is not over yet. We've just completed the first of 3 burns on this Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. We're in our first parking orbit. Our next burn coming up on the second stage will be coming up after this coast phase. We'll ignite for a second time for a short burn, and then a third burn after that, a little bit longer after. So we'll see you back here in about the T plus 27 minute mark.
Okay, guy. I cannot believe I waited around for this. No, I'm just, look, we didn't get to see the pretty light show thanks to the overcast. We didn't get to see the drone ship landing. This is the worst day of my life. Oh my goodness. There was a question in the chat I wanted to answer. Oh, what mission was it where they put the soccer balls in stage 1 for the World Cup? Yeah, I mentioned that on today's SpaceX news episode. So if you haven't watched that yet, well, I'll link it after this video after I'm done streaming. But just look through my video history. That's a good question. I actually tried to look for that answer. And, you know, I didn't have a lot of time because I have a lot of shit I have to do to make these videos. So I gave myself like 2 minutes to find the answer and I couldn't find the answer. So I just gave up. So if anybody knows that, go ahead and feel free to share what booster took up those soccer balls. And I imagine they stored them in the inner stage. That'd be my guess. I doubt they'd store them in the tank, the LOX tank. That'd be sweet though. See what those balls look like after you brought them out. These balls are blue and frozen. I know the feeling. No, I don't think it's RIP stage 1. They just couldn't get the connection. Probably has something to do with the overcast and the rocket blowing up. No, just... Yeah, Pixar, it didn't happen. So if you guys want to, let me tune in here to spacex.com/launches and look at the timeline here. Yeah. T plus 27 minutes, they'll have another second engine start, and then they'll cut it off. Then they'll start it again. Over an hour later, hour and 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so later. And then they'll actually deploy them about 2 hours after liftoff. I am not sticking around for that. I'm going to enjoy my weekend. Okay. What do you guys got going on this weekend? Any plans? There is a Starlink launch tomorrow unless they change it. I will not be live streaming it because I have a family reunion to get to in Dayton, Ohio tomorrow. So you guys will have to enjoy that one without me. Locals members, I will still post a link to SpaceX's direct live stream so you don't forget about it. Are they still locals still sending out emails to you guys when I click that option when I post these live streams? Because I don't get them, but it might be because, you know, I'm the operator. So let me know if you guys are still getting those or not. I found those were quite helpful when YouTube allowed that to happen. But YouTube doesn't send notification emails anymore either. Right, Pat Dayton. I've been on that base. You do? Thank you, Nuno. Yeah, you get the emails too? Well, I don't know why I stopped getting them. I guess I'm not a VIP like y'all. Maybe I should subscribe to my own locals page. Oh, hey, Rocket Medic, what's going on? Did the telemetry die? It's so hard to... Oh, did you see that? That was proof. Oh, you guys didn't see it because it wasn't on the... Here, I'll back it up. To all y'all doubters, all you Judases, there's proof right there. She lives. She lives. Within my heart, she lives. It's been too long. I don't remember that hymnal. Yeah, because Rocket Medic was just saying the telemetry just went off screen. I didn't catch that, but obviously it means nothing. Please clap. That's not for you, SpaceX. That's for your booster. You guys did a shit job tonight. Hey, I'm a millennial. I'm allowed to be, you know, entitled and a dick. What's going on, Carson Reed? I recognize you from Twitter. Keith, you're smoking chickens and drinking beer tomorrow? That sounds like a freaking awesome Saturday, dude. Smoking chickens. Like, when you say smoking chickens, do you mean you're just like taking them out back and taking a shotgun to them? Eat that, chicken. That's mean. I do love chicken, though. Chicken. You're still banned from Twitter? To get on that. Elon's working on it. There's still big names. He just unbanned today, I think, like Mike Lindell, I think was one of them. A few others I don't know of. I know of Mike Lindell because I own some of his products. My pillows are awesome. But yeah, like every day I'm hearing of new people who I guess a lot of people on the right know of are getting unbanned. So keep checking in on your Twitter accounts, and once you do get unbanned, give me a follow. Join the team, brah. Maplewood smoked. What else are you guys doing this weekend? You can't wait till Christmas is over, you Grinch. Once Christmas is over, I'm glad. I'm like done with them. Like, I don't want to hear about Christmas for another, 365. But once we're leading up to Christmas in these weeks, I'm all about it. I watch the Christmas movies. You guys probably didn't hear that. That was a lawyer wife yelling at me. You just told me yesterday to take my trees down. It's because it's a forest in here. We have like 5 trees that she decorates around the house. Can't even take a proper shit without pooping out an ornament, dude. You got glitter all over me all the time. Favy Christmas movie. We talked about this during the other live stream the other day. Every Christmas I watch A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, and as of 2019, A Christmas Carol, the FX version starring Guy Pearce. It's a dark version of A Christmas Carol, but it's really good. I like it a lot. Beers don't drink themselves. Roger that. Home Alone. Yeah, I don't watch Home Alone every year, but that was, I've watched it a lot since my childhood because it stars Kevin, right? Kevin! that was screamed quite a bit around the house growing up. I even had a Christmas sweater growing up. It's like one of those ugly Christmas sweaters, and it said the Kevmeister on it. It's my favorite shirt. I don't fit it anymore, I don't think. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love the love. You guys are so nice. You're too kind. Do have a phenomenal weekend. Don't do anything I would do. And I guess I'll see you next week because I don't have any work plans for this weekend. Family reunions, tough enough. Until next time, Godspeed.